Hi everyone, we'll be starting the webinar in just a couple of minutes. Thank you for being here. We'll be starting the webinar in just 2 more minutes. All right. Welcome everyone to another webinar with Envision. It's been a great month for us with lots of stuff happening. It's been like a hot month. It's been the summer. So yeah, a lot of things brewing. If you have been following us on your social, you have heard of a few things. But in this webinar, we're here to talk about everything that's been happening in August and together look into what's happening in the future. Let me start off with some of the housekeeping stuff about the webinar itself. We will like the event is being recorded, so it's also being just streamed live on a YouTube. So just so that you're aware, it's also available on these platforms. We will have a program where we'll talk about the updates that are coming in on the glasses and the Envision app. We will also be inviting a guest we have with us who to talk about Envision and about his experience with Envision. And at the end of it, there is a Q&A as always, when we will do our best to answer as many of the questions during the Q&A as possible. When we invite you to speak in the Q&A, you can simply unmute yourself by either pressing Alt-A if you're on Windows, or you can do a Command Shift-A if you're on a Mac. There is also a raise hand function within Zoom that can be used if you want to if you have a question that you would like to ask. You can also always use the raise hand function, and with the raise hand function, you are able to you indicate that you want to be on the panel and you want to talk. So if you do that, we will invite you to the panel and have you talking. I already see some some like raised hands already, so I know this is an eager audience. But just wait till we get to the Q&A, and we'll do that very quickly, and then we can have a chat. We also have a team that's taking a look at the YouTube stream. So people who are watching this on a YouTube, just leave the comments or the questions that you have in the chat, and we will be answering that as well through this. So we will be, looking to answer as many of the questions as we can as possible in this show. Moving on from that, we will jump, first and foremost to the updates from Envision. And for giving us those updates, I'm going to hand over the mic to my dear friend and colleague, Karthik Akanan, who is the mad scientist in the labs of Envision. And he's going to talk about all the fun and exciting stuff that he and his team has been working on. Over to you, Karthik. Karthik, you need to unmute yourself before you talk.
Oh,
thank you.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, okay. What do we have brewing at Envision? A lot of things. I think some things are a bit more, I would say, mundane. Some of them are like very, very exciting that, I'm going to be talking about today. The first thing, of course, I think, we've just rolled out 2.7.0 on the glasses, which basically, has a whole bunch of updates. I'd let you go ahead and find it out for yourself. But one thing that we've also done is, we've basically rolled back or we've added the ability to also export, text that you capture during describe scene. The output of that, you can go ahead and, export that over to the Envision app as well. We had that particular feature, in an earlier version of the glasses that we went ahead and brought back down because of a few reasons. We've brought that feature back in again. So I know some of y'all have been using that feature for a while, and I know it's something that you've been looking forward to. And so we've brought it back in the Envision glasses. And apart from that, one major update that's brewing in the labs right now, which will hit the glasses very soon, is the ability. We've been talking about this for a long time at Envision, and we've been doing a lot of testing internally as well. but with we're bringing out an update to the layout detection feature on the Envision glasses, or the scan text feature on the Envision glasses, which is basically going to allow you not just to scan a document and get the text from it, but you'll also be able to go ahead and get if there's any images in the text, or if there are any tables or figures in the document that you're scanning, the Envision glasses will be able to interpret them for you. So we've been working on this update, and we've done a lot of testing. And just last week, we had a lot of people in the office come, visit us, and do the testing in person, and they were super happy with the results they got. And we'll be launching that soon. But what exactly is it going to be, and a live demo of that a little bit down the line. Apart from that, we've been working on something else. A lot more exciting. Think about the Ask Envision feature on your Envision glasses, but on steroids, right? So we've been working on something like that. I don't want to steal the thunder from the marketing team by talking about it too early. But some of y'all who are actually in the webinar here today, have already been trying it out for quite some time and have been loving it. And I'm super excited to actually bring that into your hands very, very soon. We're going to be talking about it in a few weeks time. And That's basically it. And we've got a couple of other things that are also brewing. Partnerships, very, very interesting partnerships with a few companies. Again, can't talk about it too much right now, but we've been exploring very interesting partnerships with some companies that are working in the wearable space. Let's just put it like that. And when it's time to talk about them, we will definitely talk about them. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over back to Karthik.
Exciting stuff. Thank you. Without giving away too much, you still gave us a lot. I think it's exciting stuff that's happening, especially the document detection stuff that you spoke about. We had a big so there's this a thing that we do in our office in the Netherlands called the Envisioners Day, where we invite a lot of Envision users who are in and around the Netherlands to come into our office, and we have a full day of your testing with them, wherever a design team, engineering team just sits with them, and just they're able to test a whole bunch of stuff. And we did some testing of this new document detection stuff that Karthik spoke of, and the results were spectacular. It understands any document in a lot more intelligent way, especially if the document has images, if it has a graph, if it has a table. It sort of can understand each of this element and offer a rich information of of those documents to you. So that we definitely believe is a game changer, and it's going to make almost all, if not all, of the documents that you come across in a daily life as accessible as it possibly can be.
Yeah, and I think one more thing that we're kind of currently experimenting with, and this is something that we didn't even speak about too much internally, is that when we tested this particular feature with books as well, we were able to go ahead and see like improved results even with being able to scan open books, right? So again, I know a lot of people have been like looking to scan open books, and currently with the version of layout of scan text that's there on the glasses, sometimes people have to cover one side of the book and then scan the other. But we've been, one, I would say, happy accident that happened with improving this particular feature overall is that it also, makes, scanning open books a lot more easier. So it, understands, it doesn't implicitly understand that's a left page or right page, but just understands that, oh, this is the piece of text I need to read first, and then it needs to read the text on the right page after that, and so on. So yeah, it's something that we're testing a little bit more, and we'll hopefully roll all of that out in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, fingers crossed. You're on mute, Karthik. Yeah.
All right, that's a fantastic bunch of updates. Let me just quickly check in on Vanessa, who is also here. Vanessa, how are you doing? I know you were awaiting on like the guest of Frosty to join, but there
Yeah,
has been some technical difficulty on his end. Uh,
no, It's a real shame. We're trying to actually just get him to join us, and he was on a Zoom call earlier today, he told me, and everything was working fine. He's actually using his glasses to do registrations during a sailing regatta down in the south coast of England in Poole, where he lives. And anyway, I don't know what's happened. I think he's at the yacht club there, and the network's just dropped. So I can't reach him, which is really disappointing. But and he has the most wonderful story, and he's a close friend. So, I know he'll be mortified that the technology isn't working for us. I'm just trying to call him on his landline, actually. So, what we could do, if you guys agree to that, I can also just we can go to some Q&A, and I can keep trying Frosty, and then we can bring him back on when we're ready, if possible. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think that sounds great. So let's start.
Super.
So let's do
I'll keep
that.
trying.
Yeah, let's do our best to get your Frosty on the line. And as we await for a Frosty, we can have an early start to the Q&A than we normally do. And whenever we get Frosty on, we can start asking him the questions we are all very eager to ask. So with that, let me sort of open up the floor for the Q&A already. There are a few ways, as I mentioned, to ask a question. You can either raise your hand. So when you raise hand, it gives me the option to to like bring you on as a panelist. And then when I have you on as a panelist, I can ask you, then you can ask me a question directly here. The other way to do that is by just using the Q&A feature within Zoom itself. So Zoom has an option that you will see in the tab called a Q&A. So you can also just ask us a question there, and then it pops up as a question. So you can just write a question, and it just shows up, and we can just answer the question here. You can also just, but if you're somebody who is on a YouTube, who is like not here but are listening to this conversation on YouTube, you can also just put it in the comments. We have a team who is keeping an eye on that, and we will be picking up and answering the questions that are there as well. Without any further ado, I'm going to bring the first your panel, like listener into the panel. I'm gonna bring on Jose. Jose, if you can unmute yourself and ask us your question.
Hello. Am I coming in through?
Yes, Jose.
Okay.
Yeah.
My question is, I've been having problems with my glasses staying connected to my hotspot. They will, connect to my hotspot on my phone, but when I try to use like the describe scene or the call an ally, they'll say like the server had a problem connecting to them.
Okay. Yeah, like I'm not sure, Jose, what exactly you might be going wrong. If it's a technical issue, we might have to involve our support team to help you out with it. So if you don't mind, can you maybe shoot out a quick email to our support team at support@letsenvision.com, and they will offer you, like the help that's needed, to understand and resolve this issue at the earliest.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Jose. I'm gonna now bring on the next, person on here with a raised hand, and that is Hector Hernandez. Hector, you can unmute yourself and ask us your question.
Hello, am I on?
Yes.
Okay. I just have a couple questions. I'd like to ask.
Sure.
One question that I always had was like when you for like currency reading, like when you read money. Is there a chance that's coming on the Envision app anytime soon? You know?
Got it. So as of now on the glasses, what we have is the application called the Cash Reader. This is a feature that we actually also provide with a partnership with a company called the Cash a Reader, who have their own app, which is also called Cash a Reader. So that's basically how we're offering that feature on the glasses. So we don't intend to have a separate a cache a reader as a function to be integrated in the Envision app on the phone.
Okay.
But with that being said, our latest describe scene models are now becoming very capable to the point that you can also just take an image of like the cache in your hand with a described scene, and they will also tell you exactly what are denominations that you're holding. So that is a feature that we already have in the app, and that's a feature that we are betting on to improve and get a better and a better at detecting your notes and the currencies as well, amongst other things. So yeah, like we don't intend to integrate the cash reader app within the Envision app, but we intend to improve the describe scene to the point where you can also describe your banknotes itself.
Okay. Second question I have is the Envision Assistant.
Mhm.
I'm wondering, is that coming to Android anytime soon?
You mean to the glasses soon, or?
No. The Envision Assistant,
Mhm.
is that coming to Android anytime soon?
Okay, got it. So yeah, so Envision Assistant is this a new app that we've been developing. It is already on Android. We have but as a beta. So these are like currently apps that are in a beta. We have not publicly launched it as of yet. We are still testing and improving it. So it's
Okay.
already available as a beta. So you can fill out a form of Envision, on envision-assistant.com, and we will there's a form to apply to be a part of the beta. If you do that, we are periodically inviting more and more people to join the beta on Android and iOS.
Okay. All right. Great. I just
Thanks.
want to say that I really enjoy using Envision.
Mhm.
Like every time I use it, it's like I'm so excited with all things coming up, and it's exciting.
Awesome. Amazing. That's always amazing for us to hear, Hector, and like we appreciate your feedback and and also the compliment. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that was Hector. I have some questions in the Q&A as well. There is a question here which says, which is, what is the like lifespan of Envision glasses? So yeah, like Envision glasses, I would say like any other electronic device, they are sort of great for the first, I would say, just 3 to 5 years. They work great, and then what you will see after a period of like 5 years is like the battery performance mainly to decline, just like your iPhones, where after your 5 years, like it sort of like retains a less and less your battery. So that's basically what is also a behavior that you will experience with Envision glasses. So yeah, from the starting, I would say 3 to 5 years, it works great, and then after 5 years, you do see that just the battery part of it starting to decline. Everything else still works great, but yeah, I think a lifespan is very much comparable to that of a smartphone. I have some questions on YouTube that I'm going to answer very quickly. There's a question which says, when can I scan a barcode using the glasses? Yeah, like scanning a barcode with the glasses is a tricky. We don't think we'll be able to solve that in the short term. It's mainly to do with the fixed focus on this glasses, and the fact that you need to like hold the barcode really you're close in front of the camera in order for us to be able to reliably scan it. So I think a barcodes on the glasses is not something that we will be developed in the short term. It does do a QR codes and it does them very, very well, but a barcode is not something that we are able to do in the short term. There's a question from like Kuldeep. Are you planning of AI and assistant based classes? Yes, there is stuff that we're working on a lot on that. We will be talking a bit more about it in the coming weeks. So definitely stay tuned on our socials. And of course, in the next webinar, we will talk a lot more about the whole assistant stuff that you've been hearing about around Envision. I am going to now go to the next person in the queue, which is Mickey Coenza. Like Mickey, you can unmute
Okay, so we're
yourself.
just answering some questions from people. We normally do this at the end, but we're doing that now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, hi Mickey, you can unmute
Hi.
yourself. Ask us a
Yeah,
question.
my question is basically, I scanned a T-shirt, and the
Mhm.
T-shirt had Braille on it, and it actually recognized that it was Braille, but it couldn't read it. I was
Mhm.
wondering if you guys have thought about the idea of putting a Braille table in there to read Braille that might be on clothing.
That's an interesting
Yeah.
idea. Yeah, because technically we can your train AI to recognize Braille if we do teach it a Braille a table. But maybe the question would be around usability, because yeah, like I think it's definitely an effort we can put in, but I think my question to you, Mickey, would be like how often would this be a feature that you will want to like use where the classes are able to like read Braille.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I know that when it was interesting that it actually said it was Braille.
Mhm.
So it didn't just think it was a bunch of junk on the shirt.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
that's good. At least it told you that there was something there on it. So, but I really appreciate all the work you guys are doing. It's really been great.
And Mickey, I would suggest the next time you do encounter, you can maybe even try like a follow-up question and ask if it can read the Braille for you. Especially if you're using Describe Scene, you could just hit Ask Envision and ask it to read for you. Maybe it does read it. Just that you might have to
That's an
ask
idea.
it to. You might have
Yeah,
to ask it to do it.
and
And
then
I'll probably try this with the newer models that we are working with right now and see if it can read Braille, because I mean these models are just trained on all the world's knowledge, and there's no reason why it can't attempt to read Braille. I don't know if it's going to do a good job at it, but we'll try to see if that's but do ask
Okay.
it next time.
Good idea.
And ask Envision and just say, hey, can you read that for me?
Okay, I'll
And let
try
us know.
that. Okay, thank you.
All right, Mickey, thanks so much for that. I'm going to go to your Vanessa now, who has finally managed to reach Frosty. So Vanessa and Frosty, welcome to the webinar, and you can take on.
you. Yeah, thank you so much, Kartik. Thanks everybody for your patience. Welcome to the wonderful world of technology. You've got Vanessa here, and I've got actually Frosty on the end of my telephone here. So we've upped the volume as far as we can, so we can do this. So Frosty is talking to us live from Poole in Dorset in England, which is actually where I herald from. And before I pass literally the phone over to Frosty, I just want to give some context. I met Frosty sailing. I was on my brother's boat. Frosty can probably tell me exactly what kind of boat it is. I think it's a Contessa, if that means anything to anyone who knows anything about boats. And my brother dragged me along to crew, and I've never been very good at crewing because I used to sail with him as kids, and he used to throw me in the water, and I was perpetually, because I'm small, stuck at the front of the boat doing stuff. So again, I was stuck at the front doing stuff, but this lovely man was at the back of the boat, you know, looking after the mainsail and just generally helming and, well, not helming, but, you know, sailing this boat. And we got chatting, as anyone would, with dear Christopher Frosty Ford. And it was only when we moored up at the end of the race and he got out and he got his white cane out, then I really believed that this man couldn't see, because I just honestly couldn't believe what I was seeing with Frosty sailing. But then aside from that, started a friendship. And then over this last year, we've been very lucky to collaborate together with the Rotary Club of Poole and some family and friends, and Envision together to get some Envision glasses to Frosty, because he does a lot more than sailing. He's actually on the speaker circuit at the moment as well. But anyway, I'm going to not delay anymore. You'll know who I am. I'm going to introduce you to Frosty. Frosty, take it away. Maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, my love.
Yeah, so my name's Chris Ford, Frosty to everybody who knows me now, just a nickname I got from when I was in the services. I lost my sight quite a few years ago in 2008. So I had an idea of technology and things like that, but I didn't quite know how involved I was going to be and how much it was going to affect my life. As I moved through the process of coming to terms with sight loss, it came clear to me that the way I live my life is to there's no such thing as a problem. There's just an opportunity to find a different way to do something. So I looked into technology to help and to get me to help me do what I really wanted to achieve every day. Aside, with a few things like planes and doors and things like that, applications for working on the computers. I did the ECDL, which is the European Computer Driving License, with using JAWS technology. And one of my friends said to me, look, I got this thing on my phone, Snapdragon and all sorts of things. So I started learning how to use mobile phone technology. And so it came to pass that I went into hospital and they said to me, look, you need to find out, there's more. And I was actually explaining to them how I use the technology at the moment, but I wanted to find a way more, something more. Do you know what I mean? I wanted more. Yeah. And so when I met, I sailed with Giles Weigov, and this is brother, and we came together, and it seemed that a next leap for us, for me, myself, and Vanessa, was to get together and say, look, if we can make this happen, this is gonna be an amazing step. And I couldn't believe how much of a ginormous step forward that having the Envision glasses and the technology that it opened for me was absolutely life-changing in respect that I usually help out at the yacht club. I usually try and do my own things and open my own mail and try and help out and be a useful member of the yacht club. There was a barrier. I came to a certain point, my phone would do so much. Other people then had to help. But the wonderful thing, and this is, and I know this is going to sound a bit drastic in the way I might say it, but when it came down to the Envision glasses, putting them on, being able to read and scan text, and being able to ask the question of that text, it opened. I could take part in meetings.
Yeah.
And it meant that they could take part in meetings. They could ask me what I thought about, and I can read back into it and I say, well, in paragraph 3, you said so and so and so, but I agree with that. And now I can do registration. I've registered today 83 votes.
Oh, wow.
For this week's racing, and I had all the seats on me. I was able to scan the seats, find their names, make sure their details were correct, and all on my own.
That's amazing. That's amazing, Frosty. That's wonderful. Yeah, yeah. And do people ask you about the glasses? Do you get a lot of questions?
Well, I've had, to be honest, this afternoon I've had to come away,
yeah,
and take a break from not just the work I've been doing here, but I've had two ophthalmic surgeons here at the Yacht Club have asked me. I've had two other charity people that have asked me to come and do talks.
Oh my goodness.
And I've actually had 4 people sitting down at a desk with me earlier on today with the glasses on.
Oh my goodness.
And actually going through. And I'll be honest, it's amazing the amount of people that have come and talked to me in these last few days.
Oh, wow. Well, we did put something out on social media, but I honestly don't believe that you've needed to actually, that would have done a great deal, but you never know. So apologies for us if we put stuff out. Actually, my lovely colleague Ria, who did the webinar with my other colleague Charmaine last month. So thank you, ladies, for doing that. Put out a nice clip of you speaking at the Rotary Club today, but I'm wondering if that's got some traffic over to the for you. But
yeah. I mean, whenever I talk to anybody, the first thing I do, I've got the little leaflet that came, and I get on the web page and I open the web page and I say, look, have a look.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Listen to me. Have a look.
Yeah.
And the two guys there who have pages where they can go to. You've got a YouTube bit that you can tap on the box, and it explains how this person has changed.
Yeah.
So they can then see that whilst I'm sitting down with them.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's amazing. It really is.
Oh, well, listen, thank you so much for doing that. And I can totally understand about taking a break and demoing the glasses. There's also so much that the glasses can do, and the opportunities and possibilities are endless, right? But it's sort of finding the use cases that work for you. It does take a time, but it seems to me that you've nailed those. You talked and this was actually in the clip that we have on social media, but I loved it. You were talking about finding the right kind of baked beans. Maybe you could explain that one. And you have to be a Brit to like baked beans, right?
I could, because I'm as you can probably tell, I like being there. I like my independence. I like to feel that I can do things that I did before sight loss became not an issue, but it changed my life. I had to find a different way.
Yeah.
So I was in the shop, and I had to ask, oh, is this the right one? Or my phone would play up. I would try and scan the barcode and so on. But it humiliated them, really, in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you've got the glasses on, you see, and then my wife loves it, I can actually do a video call to her, and I can say to her, look, I'm looking at the beans and I can't find the one you want. You know?
Yeah.
And I know here's something fantastic. My mum was 83 years old a few weeks ago.
Oh, congrats. Congratulations.
I personally, she's lovely, by the way. She's a fantastic lady. So she loves verses in birthday cards. So I went on my own to this huge card shop in Paul Town Centre, and I got there on the bus of that.
Oh, wow.
And I would put my glasses on, and I did a video call to my sister, who lives just near my mum.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to her, look, I'm looking at cards, and I want to find the right one. So I standing in the card shop looking, and she's saying to me, no, not that. And I put my fingers out on the card. This one? No, this one? No, this one? No. And she said, no, that looks a good picture. So I then held it up, and she read it to me, and I almost broke down and this, because because I couldn't read it, but as she was reading it to me, it sounded just what I wanted.
Oh, wow.
You know?
That's so beautiful.
What a technology, though. I can be in that shop and in that position, and I haven't got to ask.
Yeah.
I can talk to someone without involving any other member of staff, someone I can trust and I know is going to understand who I am and what I need.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's wonderful because you can have a mixture of people that you could video call, right? So you talked about your sister and potentially your mom or your wife or your daughter. But you can also add some folks there from the yacht club if you have questions for things. It can be used for several things, but that's a lovely, lovely use case. Frosty, it's moving so fast. You've got a wonderful ideas about things. Where would you like, I mean, this has been a whole step change, obviously, with the glasses, but even on the glasses, since you got them and we sat first together, so much has happened with them, right? With the Ask Envision and the AI and the assistants and everything. So it's hard to know where one starts when the other stops sometimes, but where would you like the technology, and doesn't necessarily mean Envision, but where would you like the technology to be or what could it do for you, say in this time next year or even in the future at some point? Have you got a dream?
I think like where for me to move forward is for me to have a greater sharing of the technology and of where we are. It's difficult to put the glasses on other people, but I would like them to be able to, so that I can communicate with my glasses while someone else is wearing them, to fully let them fully understand. So I would like to see, perhaps it's not more publicity, but it's on the actual information, so I can actually say to them, look, why don't you do it? You call that person.
Yeah.
That would be something amazing.
Yeah.
Something that I can tap into and I can say, look, here's how it works. And if you see other people that I talk to, they have other suggestions.
Yeah.
And I think the next step for me personally is being able to feed back those little tweaks that we may need, or something they've come up and I can't do it. And that will be my next thing.
Well,
do more research and find out, what other people would expect of me.
Oh, fantastic. We actually have some pretty active communities on Facebook, groups, X, Telegram, while Telegram's still going. But we have these communities, and we always say to anybody, you don't have to be an Envisioner. You certainly don't have to be an Envision glasses customer, hopefully an app user, because that's a free thing to use. But, we welcome any ideas and suggestions. No idea is a dumb idea. Believe me, if we had even thought about, the stuff that the glasses can do now, and I know the Kartiks are sort of smiling in the backs of their heads, if you know that Dutch expression, like a year ago or 2 years and a half ago, we could never have been where we are now. So, there is, bring out those ideas. And I love the idea, reading Braille on clothing, right? Let's share them. So, and if you don't want to join a community, that's fine. Just, send an email to Mike at letsenvision.com or support@letsenvision.com. Those are 2 emails that we're all accessing, and, we'd welcome that. And, that's fantastic. And Frosty, you've been through so much, and you've done so many things. When you were working at the Dorset, or supporting and volunteering at the Dorset Blind Institute, right? They were amazingly important for you, and in kind of being there, you've also done so much sailing with young people and things, and helping people who are losing sight, myself included. What is talk about staying positive and being motivated. It's hard sometimes, right? Have you got a piece of advice that you could give for people who are, going through sight loss and are finding it tough at times? I know it's impossible to cover everybody, but is there something, what's your go-to for staying positive?
I take ownership. The sight loss is my thing. It's not anybody else's, it's mine. I own it. And I think that for me, it's always be prepared to ask for help. Don't be afraid, because other people have been through things and they may be able to help you.
Yeah.
If you let yourself go in the cycle where I can't do it, I find it's not I can't do it. The way I say it, you're finding it difficult.
Yeah.
It can't doesn't enter into my head. And when I'm trying to say to people, look, I'm always here, and there's always other people that are willing to help. Please be open to accepting that help.
Yeah. Well, you and I have talked about that. It goes in waves, doesn't it? It's sometimes easier than others, and
yeah. You've got to be ready. You've got to be ready yourself.
Yeah.
And you've got to be open, because we can all talk to you, we can all say things. But as a person who's sightless, I have to be ready to talk about it. Yeah. I have to be ready to open up and accept the advice and help other people had. And I only reached that stage because I was continually reassured by other people, look, don't worry, we're here.
Yeah.
As and when you're ready and when you want to talk, we will be here for you.
Yeah.
And I think even the Envision, you see, when I'm going, I know it sounds a bit tough, but I've been able to phone up and I've been able to talk to people and say, look, I've got a problem with this. And a little message comes back, we haven't forgotten you. Your query is being dealt with and we get back to you shortly. And always coming back to me makes me trust that if I get a problem, it's going. So that's a big thing, knowing that if I ask a question, I'm going to get an answer.
Absolutely. And sometimes we can't do it in a day. Sometimes we can't even do it in a day and a half because we need to go and find the answer. But that's sweet. And I know our customer support team will welcome to hear that, because I think they're rock stars and they are rock stars. But Frosty, listen, darling, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to literally just now open Kartik, bring Kartik back on, actually. So don't go anywhere, Frosty, stay on my phone, because there may be...
Yeah, if I don't quite hear the question,
I'll repeat it.
Would you do it for me?
Yeah, of course.
I'm open to any questions about anything. I really am.
Brilliant, my love. Kartik, maybe we have time for a couple of questions. If anyone's got questions for Frosty, please either, just our normal channels, please ask away, because that would be great. I'm holding a phone, Kartik. It's a bit hard for me to read the questions right now, but if there are any for Frosty, go ahead and repeat them.
Yes.
Maybe you've got a question for him.
No, I think that was a great conversation. I think it's always interesting to to hear all these different experiences, and I think Joe Frosty sounds like an amazing person. I'd love to meet him when I'm over on the other side of the channel. But yeah, it's amazing that we get to bring together all this stories on this platform. There are a lot of raised hands and stuff in the Q&A, so I think let's do our best to answer as many of them as we can. And just a note for the audience, if you have a question that you would also like to ask Frosty yourself, he is on the line, so just ask your questions and we will do our best to make sure that your Frosty hears it and can give you the answer. Let me just look at some things on the Q&A bucket. There's a question from Pierce who asks, is the chance to win the glasses still available? I think you are talking about like a sweepstake option that we had in the month of July. It's now over, so there's no a sweepstake competition going on anymore. So we had three winners of the glasses, but that was it. There is a question from Elizabeth who asks, you're planning to sell accessories like like glasses are chained to prevent losing them or being damaged if they slip off? Elizabeth, we don't sell any sort of lanyard or anything with the glasses ourselves. But because our glasses pretty much look and operate like a normal pair of spectacles, there are third-party accessories like lanyards and stuff that we know a lot of our users do a purchase and put it on. We don't sell them directly ourselves, but we know a lot of our users are able to just like buy them from a local store and put it on. They do actually have to be picked because of the fact that the one side of the frame is a bit thicker than what you would expect a normal frames to be. So you do have to take that into account. But given that there are options out there that you can look for. There is a question from Farishte who is asking, is there any chance to reduce the price of the glasses? No, Farishte, we don't have any ongoing discounts, and I'm afraid there won't be any discounts in the short term that we are planning. There are some ways to get external funding or reimbursements or subsidy for the glasses. So we do have resources that can definitely help you with that. So if you could shoot out an email to us at support@letsenvision.com, our team can actually assist you and point you in the right directions and tell you about the options that are available for getting some external funding and your financing for your classes. Then there is a question which is in a French, which is not a language that I speak, but we live in the world of internet, so I'm going to quickly Google translate what is the question that you're asking, and I am going to see if I can answer it. For some reason, Zoom does not allow me to copy questions from the chat box. Oh, it does. Okay. The question is, let me see. Okay, so the question says, can we use our glasses in Africa, and more precisely, a Republic of Guinea? Yes, the glasses do work in Africa, so you are totally free to use the glasses in Africa. Our glasses are available all over the world, so they do a work globally. So they do a work in Africa as well. Okay. There's a question from a Jim which says there's the feature for which I'm awaiting to have available is for the glasses to be able to provide a real-time descriptions of what is being viewed through the glasses when people are walking around. In other words, having signs that read out and identify any of the glasses in a user's path are not necessarily identifying those objects, so that those objects can be avoided while the user is walking. This would be a real boon for blind people who are trying to navigate on their own, sometimes in a crowded area. Yes, Jim, I think that is definitely the the ultimate goal. I think that's what we are aiming for as well, so that the glasses can become sort of this like a real-time assistant that you can have on you, and you can just ask it for very specific things, like you can ask it for to help you with detecting any obstacles on the path. You can ask it for looking for a shop on your path, and it can sort of do this with a real-time video feed. And I think we're coming very close to achieving something like that, right? Like things like this are already technically now possible with the combination of ask Envision with a describe scene. So you can right now do this with images, where you can take an image of something and you can ask, hey, is there any obstacle in my path, or can you just let me know if there are obstacles in my path? For us to be able to do that on a video or frame is the next step, and that's where Envision's attention and a focus is. We believe something like that should be possible before the end of the year. This whole landscape is shifting very, very fast, and there's a lot happening around here. So yeah, I am pretty sure something like a video of your based assistant is something that I believe is possible before the end of this year. All right, I'm going to go and start bringing some of the panelists on to talk. I'm going to go with Jimmy Lewis. Jimmy, you can unmute yourself and ask us your question.
Yeah, hey, can you hear me?
Yes, Jimmy. How are you doing
yes. Good, how are you?
today? Great.
So I was on YouTube and I saw your guys' video with Ben and with Brian using their Envision glasses to like navigate around. So my question is, when they're asking the question to when the assistant is giving the answer, was that latency edited to cut down to be fast, or is that the real-time answer they're getting? Is that processing speed that fast?
So the the video is a bit edited, of course, because it is more of a cinematic a video, but like the latency part is a realistic. So we have kept the latency to be as a realistic as possible. So the latency part is a realistic. We have been able to have some immense improvements on our latency on the like the whole assistant thing that that we're building, and that's basically what they are showcasing on the video. We also have some real-time demo videos as well, which are not the cinematic kind, but just more straight on a demo videos as well, where you can see the latency play out exactly as it is in the video. So one of the bigger focuses of us was to decrease the latency as low as possible, and so the latency shown in those videos is realistic. But of course, we had to record it separately because a lot of the shooting was done outdoors and stuff, and it's not easiest to capture the true audio of the glasses when you're outdoors. We do recreate those videos, but it's recreated to be as like close to the real experience as possible.
And how realistically are we looking at as far as getting our hands on that stuff for beta testing for the glasses? I mean, are we weeks, months? How close are we?
A week. So we're just you're putting together a beta of that. So weeks is what we're looking at. So yeah, just you're like, I would say in a couple of weeks there'll be a beta out, and depending on how good the beta is and how much iteration is needed, it's also super close to coming to a production soon.
So do I just need to keeping an eye on the Slack?
Yes. So just keep an eye on like the Slack channel. We will update you as in when the beta is about to drop, and you will be the first to hear about it as soon as it drops.
Awesome. Thank you. That was all.
Thanks, Jimmy. Have a good day.
You too.
All right. Let me then bring on Rick Hodgkins to the panel. Rick, you can unmute yourself and ask us your question.
Order.
Yes. First off, I would like to say, Frosty, I don't know if there are any homeless individuals living where you're at, but that shouldn't stop you from going out. I would just ignore them, and if they give you trouble, use your self-defense techniques. You don't have to use your cane as a way to just let people know that you're blind. Use it as a way to defend yourself. If I were you, against a homeless person or anyone that's homeless that tries to give you trouble, don't let other people's negativity keep you confined to your home. Because one thing I'm finding out, I've been confined to my home most of the time for the last 5 years, and for reasons I won't go into. It is site related, but I will say that if you're confined for so long, your social skills become rusty. So don't let other people's negativity confine you to your home. Don't think that you always have to go with someone, because if nobody owes you the time of day, you still have the right to travel by yourself independently. And I guess my question for Envision is, I have a two-part question. One is I just downloaded the most previous updates as of today. And the second part to that question is, have you considered establishing a US-based customer service? The reason I'm saying is because I know sometimes a US-based customer service, a US-based office can be detrimental, as a pharmaceutical company in Denmark, Copenhagen, Denmark, found out. But have you thought about that? So that's a two-part question. Thank you.
Like Eric, so we do have a big chunk of our team in the US. We do have a US based team, both on the customer service end, but also on on like sales end, and we are continuing to hire more people in the US. So that's something that we're already doing. We already have about 5 employees who are in US. So that's something
Where
that
is it, in San Francisco, or where is the US base?
out. So we have 2 in like California, 2 in Texas, and 1 in New York.
Awesome.
And also, that what do the new updates provide? What do they allow for?
You mean on the glasses or the app?
Awesome.
The glasses right now. I downloaded the updates on the glasses.
Yeah. So on the glasses, like there is the update that went out today. It's mainly sort of like just more of of like fixes. We have updated some of the currencies. Mainly there has been a new currencies issued in your countries like Argentina and Japan. So we sort of updated those. We have done some UX improvements where now it announces the battery up percentages in a lot more intervals as it starts to die down, and a few other minor updates. We were supposed to push out like a major update, the whole document detection stuff that we spoke about today. That was supposed to also be a part of this update, but we are just doing a few more tweaks to it. So that's probably gonna take another week to have the update with the document detection on. But this one is just a few, I would say, like minor improvements to the experience overall. Anything else, Rick, that you had a question, or was it all?
Awesome.
I guess will I need to download those updates on the app as well, because I have the Envision app on my phone?
Yeah, those updates. So the app updates are also available. I think we did have a new update on the app as well that does also improve a few things. So yeah, so there's a separate update for the app. There's a separate update for the glasses.
And I guess you might say my final thing is, I've heard bits and pieces about one day being able to use the Be My Eyes app on Envision.
Yeah, that's a conversation that we are also constantly like having with the Be My Eyes team. It's more of a bandwidth thing on our side. So the ball is in Be My Eyes' court as of now. We are always open on that, but yeah, like we just have to have to find the bandwidth on our side to make this happen. So yeah, we are open to it. We have had a lot of Be My Eyes team, but yeah, it's just but we just haven't found the right like timing like for it to work out. So it's still on the table. So yeah, hopefully when there is more of a bandwidth on the Be My Eyes team, they will be able to get back to it. Thank you, Rick, for those questions. We are a bit over the hour, so I think this was the last question that we could entertain for this webinar. I do want to thank all of you who are here for taking the time and spending the hour with us to listen to all the updates, to listen to Frosty, who I would like to thank again for being a part of the webinar, and for all the questions. Like I said, there's a lot of things brewing here at Envision. We will be back with another exciting webinar next month. Until then, just keep an eye on our socials for all the fun updates. And I hope you all have a great day and a great month ahead. Thank you. Bye-bye.